This next part of chapter 22, we see Zoe find her voice, which is a really good way to say it. She takes a stand, and I wonder what her motivation is, how she got the courage. And maybe that's a question that you're going to answer. So, we'll finish chapter 22 now.
Fuchsia doesn't want company when she heads out to the parking lot. And since, when we pass by the doors next to the locker room, I can see her mom's car waiting there for her in the space where the buses had been, I don't argue. I didn't really have a choice, but it sure would have been a good day to catch the bus rather than having to walk home again. My feet still haven't forgiven me for turning them into chunks of ice. As I pass the entrance to the library, I peek inside. The two music stands are set up again for a mock debate. An 8th grade boy is already at one, and standing at the other is Matt Hubbard. I tuck myself behind the giant cardboard cutout of Harry Potter, saying, "Read," that Mr. Hurd has set up on the side of the entrance. Guns are used exclusively for killing, Matt is saying. And why should we trust people with that ability when clearly the statistics show that people cannot be trusted? His voice is so confident, like he couldn't possibly be wrong. After he goes through all the horrible statistics he copied into his notebook, he finishes with a triumphant, "Guns are evil, and that's why we should take the steps needed to make our society safer and outlaw them completely." And wouldn't that be wonderful? The 8th grader starts in. For all law-abiding citizens to be unarmed and defenseless at the mercy of criminals who, by the way, don't follow laws and will have all the guns they want. He's reading from his notebook, too, like he did the same thing as Lydia and copied down NRA talking points word for word. No, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is not outlawing guns. Instead, we need to be eliminating gun-free zones where innocent people can be picked off like pigeons on a power line. We don't need fewer guns. We need more guns in the hands of more people. Only that will make us safe. Not if those people are bullies. The words come out of my mouth, and not in a whisper either, but in a shout loud enough to get the whole debate club to turn and look at me. I've knocked over the friendly Harry Potter cardboard cutout, but I can't get myself to pick it up, mumble sorry, and run from the room. There is too much inside me that's screaming. That 8th grader might not believe that stuff, but Frank does. And we deserve better than having everything decided by people like Matt and people like Frank. What about everyone in the middle? What do you think should happen when a kid is threatened by a grown-up with a gun? I say, taking a step forward. Is she supposed to whip out her own and kill him? Because that's the kind of decision she needs weighing on her, right? I turn to face Matt Hubbard, and I don't care that he has nice brown eyes. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe guns aren't evil, and that most of the people who own them aren't evil either? You're all so happy to decide Silas Fletcher is a monster just because he wears camo. Can you even fit into your brain the possibility that he's actually one of the most interesting people that goes to this school? And am I a monster too, just because I have a camo jacket? Are you happy to imagine the drool dripping off my monster jaws? Do you want to pretend I ate a whole bunch of babies for breakfast? Matt's mouth has dropped open, and the 8th grade boy is looking at me like I just beamed in from space. I can see Lydia peering from behind him, trying to see better, her eyes wide. You need to wake up! I'm really shouting now. We're not living in some sort of black and white pretend world. You act like it has to be all or nothing, like it's some kind of game. But there are actual people dealing with this. Actual people who have to say goodbye to their kittens. Actual people who have to hide their phones in the closet. And it's not a game to them. Zoe, I hear Miss Rochambeau say. But I don't hear what she says next, because I'm setting the Harry Potter cutout back upright and running out the door. I didn't mumble sorry. It probably wouldn't have made much difference at that point, since I totally just told off Matt Hubbard and some 8th grade boy. I stop running when I reach the sidewalk. I look up at the sky. I don't know if anything I said made sense, but somewhere between the gray sidewalk and the gray sky, a laugh burbles out of me. And it's such a loud laugh against that gray sky. I can see the headlines. Zoe Albro delivers an unhinged but epic smackdown to 2 confused boys who thought they were better than her. It's been so long since I laughed, and it feels amazing. Like there's a whole big, beautiful, open ocean of freedom inside me. A tear drips down my cheek. A laughter tear, not that other kind. Who's clueless now? I start walking, but I don't feel the cold like I did yesterday. It's like releasing all those words set off fireworks inside me, and they're still exploding all warm and bright. How on earth did I do that? And then I realize Matt and that boy were just 2 screaming monkeys, and I've had plenty of practice with those.
So Zoe finds her voice. Zoe finds her power. Zoe shocks everyone in school because she's usually quiet and flies under the radar, doesn't want to be seen. And suddenly she is very much seen, and her voice is no longer quiet. And the courage that it took might be all the events that happened.